A very good morning to all the viewers and listeners of Hello Kolkata, Kolkata Calling podcast series. And like every Sunday, we have a very special guest with us. I'll reveal the name a little later, though some of you will know it already from the announcement. Our guest today is someone who has lived many lives in cricket, from being India's wicketkeeper and a Ranji Trophy centurion on debut, to leading Bengal after Sourav Ganguly, to becoming one of the most respected voices in cricket broadcasting. He's born in Delhi, moved to Bengal after his under 16 days, making an immediate mark with a century on Ranji debut in the year 1998-99. He went on to represent India in tests and ODIs with memorable knocks like his gritty innings against South Africa in 2001 and a century against England at Mohali. We'll get into those memorable innings. Post his playing career, he has worn many hats: coach, mentor, administrator, columnist, and a commentator for Star Sports and CricBuzz. Today, we dive deep into his journey, pun intended, from the 22 yards to the commentary box and everything in between. It's a great honor and pleasure to have Deep Dasgupta with us today. Welcome, Deepta.
Thank you so very much. It's an absolute pleasure to be here with you all.
Before I begin, how many times have you heard the pun intended with
Oh,
deep diving?
way too many times. I mean, yeah, and at times it's not even intended. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah,
Especially when you're on comms, there are so many fielding positions where deep is involved, like deep covers, a
yeah,
deep point, deep square leg, and all of that. And at times
yeah.
when I'm sitting with someone, and especially overseas comms, they are a little conscious to make sure it's the fielding position they're talking about and not
Okay,
referring to me. So yeah, I mean it's fun. I mean it is what it is.
yeah. And thank you so much, Deepta, for taking the time. We were just talking about it that you responded, you accepted, and now we are here today.
Yeah.
So it's a great honor for Kolkata Calling, and a
Mm.
great honor for me to be able to talk to you. Uh, Deepta, before we sort of go into the different hats that you've worn, which I referred to in the
Mm.
introduction, tell us a little bit about your early days, because you said you have
Ah.
sort of a two city or two state background. Tell us about the early days and sort of what inspired you to pick up cricket.
Uh, well, to be fair, I'm the 83 generation, right? Born
Okay.
77. So 83 generation, all we could do was play cricket and hear about it. Wherever you went, you heard about cricket, you heard about the World Cup. All you could do was play cricket. So it was quite normal and natural, which it is any which way in India, picking up cricket as a sport. But then it was a little more of a push because of that World Cup victory, and one thing led to the other. The other thing is my elder brother is an athlete as well. So he was a state champion in 100, 200. So my parents would take him for his training every afternoon, and then I was too young, and so I tagged along. And I tagged along, started, went to National Stadium, which had this multi-sport facility under Sports Authority of India, NIS actually, sports whatever, yeah. And and then yeah, I mean, I was too young to be put into cricket because I think there was an age barrier. Anyone have to be 11 and over to be, you know, to get into cricket there. But I was what, 7, I believe, or something like that. And so I initially started with gymnastics, and then Gushan sir was the coach there. I would leave gymnastics and come stand outside the cricket field and just watch, guys playing cricket and go. So after him watching me for a month, maybe a couple of months of, this really little kid comes and just stands outside and just watches. So one day he said, okay, come in. And that's when I started. Officially, I was still doing gymnastics, but he would say, you know what, officially, I can't let you play, but, you can come here. So I'll just tag along with him, pick up balls, throw balls. I mean, like you do with kids, right? And then when I was, yeah, 11 or something, officially I got enrolled into cricket. But by then I had already kind of started playing cricket, not just, graduated from picking up balls and passing it on to actually throwing and then, hitting a few balls and so on and so forth.
Wow. And you mentioned the 83 generation. Do you remember the win?
I
clearly remember?
remember, yes, I remember, I won't say very vividly though, but I do remember, you know how it used to happen those times, only one family in the colony would have a television, right?
Yeah.
So that was us, and I still remember there was like, chhadete TV rakha chilo, and there was like whole colony sitting there watching it
Wow.
and shouting and jumping and all of that. So yeah, I not very vivid, but I do remember
You remember the
bits.
moment, like,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
you
yeah, the
remember.
moment, yeah, and bits and pieces and stuff like that. Because I was too young. I was what, 6 years old. I was too young to kind of understand the gravity of that win or that moment. I mean, everyone was laughing and happy and rejoicing. I was like, yeah, why not?
Sure. At that age, I think
Yeah,
everything's upbeat. I mean, you had a background in athletics, gymnastics, obviously,
yeah.
extremely fit. When you got into cricket, was wicket keeping something that you naturally gravitated towards, or was that something that others spotted a talent in you that made you pick it
Uh,
up?
so what happened was, obviously when you're that young, you try different things, bowling, batting, keeping, and all. And one thing I realized quite early that I wanted to be part of the game. I would
Hmm.
get bored standing, let's say third or fine leg or wherever barely the ball would come to you.
Yeah.
So I was like, nah, let's get involved. Let's do something where I am more involved and I'm part of the game, right? So that's how. So one of the things that every kid would try out was wicket keeping. I happened to catch all right. Love diving around, which every young kid would. So yeah, would catch the ball and dive and stuff, things like that. And then yeah, and then the coach said, you know what? So my first coach was Sunita Sharma. It's a lady called Sunita Sharma. She was brilliant, and I've learned yeah my ABCDs of cricket from her.
Yeah. And you mentioned like being more involved. The wicketkeeper is on every ball.
Oh
Like
yeah,
you are switched on throughout the match, like throughout the
yeah,
innings. Like there's not even a
absolutely.
second where you can get distracted.
Yeah, and obviously for your own skill set, but
Yeah.
also I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I think the wicket keeper is is the fielding captain. So
Hmm.
part of your job is also kind of be that leader on the field. You know, even if you're not the official captain, but you still got to lead those guys. You got to make sure the field's in the right place. You're giving the right inputs to the bowler, to the captain, things like that. So, yeah, I mean, it's a lot more than just kind of catching balls or doing your skills per se. It's a lot more than
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, and I was listening to this recent podcast. I believe it was recent with Cyrus, where we were talking about the evolution of wicket keeping, and it was fun.
Yeah,
And I think you were mentioning that the wicket keeper is closest to the batsman,
yeah,
so you read body language. The captains come and ask you whether the ball is swinging, whether the ball is turning. So you're
yes,
always giving guidance. And with the new technology, whether to take DRS, not to take DRS,
yes,
whether there's a
yes,
nick, whether it's going down the leg side, all of that, the wicket keeper
yeah.
becomes the one to make the call.
True, and also if you've kept wickets long enough and you've done it the right way mentally, uh, then you tend to grow a sixth sense as well. You mentioned about standing next to the batter. You grow that sixth sense. You get that feeling what might happen, what the batter might want to do,
Hmm.
and if you tap into that as well, I mean, yeah, you just get a feeling. You look at someone's like a little twitchy and all. There's a big shot coming, and more often than not, that big shot is a heave over leg side. Things like that, and you build that up. I mean, some people do tap into it, some people don't. I mean, I did kind of believe quite a bit in uh, quite a bit on my gut instincts or the sixth sense.
Yeah. And Deepda, sort of moving forward a little bit from there, you already had started making a mark in the under 16 days. What
Hmm.
prompted the decision to move from Delhi to Bengal for your senior level career? Is there a story there? You're smiling.
Yeah, I mean, because it was accidental. I mean, it wasn't a
Oh.
planned move, so to say. So what happened was, I mean, my family, my extended family, everyone's from Calcutta. I was born in Calcutta, so everyone's from there. So every summer holiday would go spend month and a half in Calcutta. Kakarwadi, Mamarwadi, Mashi, Mesho, everyone there. And obviously when you're 16, you are serious. I mean, you've played zone and state and all of that. You are kind of serious about your cricket. You can't stay without playing cricket for a month and a half. So
Mm-hmm.
what happened was, Tokun, the Bengal under 19 camp was on, and one of my mama, my maternal uncle, one of them, he was in SBI, and his colleague was um late TJ Banerjee, Tapan Jyoti Banerjee. So TJ da, God bless his soul, he was the under 19 coach then, and he was his colleague. So he took me there, and the Bengal under 19 camp was happening. He's like, this was, I think, June rather, end of June or something. Yeah, something like that. So he said, he's here, he's played 16 and blah, blah, blah. Is it all right if he joins? He said, yeah, why not? You know. So I went and joined the camp. So the camp started off with, I guess, 40 odd kids. It came down to 20. And because I was born in Kolkata and my domicile I had, I mean, shop badi okane chilo, mama badi and all. So I was picked for when it came down to 20 odd, they picked me. I said, okay. And then Bengal under 19 was going to play Moinudullah. They again picked me for that. Moinudullah in Hyderabad. And then when they picked me for that, that's when the call needed to be made. And obviously, it wasn't really my call, so to say. It was my parents, my elder brother, who thought, you know what, why not? And yeah, and Kolkata has been home since.
Wow. And when you sort of decided to move back, play for Bengal, was it a little difficult or different adjusting to the new city, new culture?
Yes, definitely yes. Culture both on and off the field were very different.
Mm-hmm.
Delhi, it is, at least I can speak for myself, was a lot more brash, and you know how it is, and calmed down drastically in the next couple of years. Just got into the Kolkata vibes. Oh, hoye jabe cholbe. You know, so got into those easy vibes and all of that. But yeah, it was definitely different. Was it difficult? No, it wasn't difficult. I had good people around me. Obviously, I had family, so it wasn't difficult. I think those 2 3 years were really really good. So yeah, I mean, it was different, but not difficult for me at all.
Yeah. And once you are playing for Bengal, the Ranji Trophy comes up,
Mm.
and you hit a century on debut.
Yeah,
That's a rare honor.
yeah,
Some people have done that, but that's still a very rare honor.
yeah.
What was that moment like?
Was again, I'll be very, very honest. The biggest moments in my life,
Mm-hmm.
I've been numb. I don't know why. For some reason, if you ask me about these moments like the 100, test 100 and all, I don't, I really don't, because maybe because, we keep talking about getting into the zone. So maybe I
Mm-hmm.
was in those zones where it did not really matter. I just, I was just there, you know, and it just happened naturally, kinds. So yeah, I mean, obviously it was brilliant. I still remember what kind of stood out was the fact that uh, there's a senior of mine in that team was Shrikant Kalyani,
Mm-hmm.
and there's this he used to wear these lovely shorts, and which was kind of rare, those athletic shorts which had
Mm-hmm.
this cut on the sides. And uh, and I said, oh, those are lovely, where did you find, can I get them? He said, no, you can't get them, you don't get them, I just have it, I got it back. I said, okay. So then suddenly out of the blue he said, you get 100 and you take it. I said, oh, okay, whatever. Yeah. And then when I got out, I came to the dressing room. That shorts was nicely, kind of folded and kept where I sit.
Wow.
That's something that I distinctly remember from Shrikant. That was very, very sweet of him.
You could have bet on something bigger.
Yeah, 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 exactly so. Exactly so. But then, yeah, it was kind of sweet of him to do that. But yeah, that's what I remember. What else? Not much. Yeah, getting a call from again Shomnath Da, one of unsung heroes of Bengal cricket. Shomnath Da, again, he passed away a few years ago. Mm, he is the owner of Deep Dasgupta and Company, the shop,
Mhm.
and he called up. And why I say unsung, because the number of people that he's helped with. I mean, cricket is an expensive sport.
Mhm.
He's helped. It's unbelievable, and those are the guys why cricket is still popular, and still people from different socio-economic backgrounds still play the game because of people like that.
Yeah. And Deepda, playing for Bengal, I mean, historically, not many Bengal players have played, at the national level. And we'll probably come into that if you
Yeah,
want to.
yeah,
But
yeah.
at what point of time did you become a serious contender for the national spot? And how was that getting that call?
Uh, okay, so let's just start with the process. So how
Hmm.
I saw it was, okay, when you're playing at that point in time, there were 24 first class teams or something like that. Something on those, like maybe 24, 26 first class teams. So the moment I was picked for Bengal, I was like, okay, I'm one in 26, right? Then I was picked for zone. So there are five zones, like, oh, now I'm one in five. And then I was picked for the National Academy, NCA. Now it's the Center of Excellence. It used to be called uh, the NCA in Bangalore. And there were three of us actually, and all three of us have ended up playing for India. So I was like, okay. So the next gen, and it was predominantly next gen. So next gen, I'm one in three.
Hmm.
So so that's how I saw it, my path. I was like, now this is what it is. And then from there, uh, I was picked for an India camp where there were three of us. So I was like, okay, I was one in three in the next gen, but I'm one in three in this gen now. And then from there, and then obviously the debut happened, and how I saw the debut was phenomenal. I mean, I still remember my first scoring shot was one of the best shots I've ever played in my life, which was more evasive action than actually intentional. But yeah, so I do remember that walking out, and it was phenomenal. Yeah,
Yeah. At the start of
sorry. So let me just say this: the thing that I remember the most was my debut was at Wanderers, the one days, my first international game. And before the game started, it was the first game, so there was playing the national anthem. So when you're just standing there,
Mhm.
okay, and Wanderers, what, 40,000 packed house, and when the national anthem is playing, I still get goosebumps. I mean, that was phenomenal.
Wow. And then the test debut came,
Yeah,
and then a very gritty knock, which the history books tell us that saved the
yeah,
test against South Africa. Then following that up with a century against England in Mohali amidst tough conditions, you were opening
yeah,
the innings and
yeah,
played beautifully. You kept losing a few partners, and I think Rahul Dravid was at the
yeah,
other end
yeah,
when you finally scored the 100. I know you
yeah.
say you become numb in those big moments, but do you remember that moment?
Uh, what I remember, okay, from the test debut bit is, uh, again, I mean, it happened. I came back to my room, called up, and it sunk in when my brother was speaking to him, and my brother said, "Do you realize you're a test player now? That's something that
Mhm.
nobody can take it away from you. I mean, if this is the last match that you ever play, you are a test player." And that is when it sunk in. It's like, yeah, you're right. Even if I don't end up playing anymore, I mean, that is something that's going to be there for the rest of my life. And that is when it sunk in that, I'm a very India test player. Um, the 100, yeah, I mean, I remember mostly the partnership with Rahul, because when you're playing with when you're playing along or playing with actually in a partnership with greats like Rahul Dravid, those are just learning lessons. You learn more batting with them for an hour than what you've learned major part of your life. You know, that was phenomenal. I've been lucky that way to have had a few partnerships with him. That the test match in South Africa, he was there. The 100, he was there. So how you manage innings, how you kind of focus on the job at hand and not worry about sledging and chattering and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean that was. I mean, I remember the partnership or the innings more than the moment itself. I know I removed my helmet and held my bat up and all of that, and yeah, couldn't cherish more because got out soon after.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And Deepda, I had hinted at this before this question was, from Bengal to the national side, right?
yeah,
Not many have been as fortunate
mm,
to be capped.
yeah, yeah,
Uh, how do you see it? Because then you took over the captaincy a few years later from
mm,
Sourav Ganguly, became the captain
mm,
of the Bengal team. Uh,
mm,
you had great success with the Bengal team, especially in the Ranji Trophy.
mm.
Being the captain of that team, how do you see, or why do you see that so few Bengal players have actually made it at the national level? Is there something systemic?
It is kind of systemic and also temperamental. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Systemic because um, there's a lot of talent. There's absolutely no two ways in terms of the amount of talent or natural talent we have. Systematic because I think we can do better with grooming those talents, mentoring those talents. I'm not talking about technical things here, technically sound people. But when I say grooming and mentoring is how do you handle situations? How do you handle things? Um, those things are kind of we can do better with those because what happens is um, you know you've because the issue is if you say something back in our societies we think oh that's disrespect if
Mm-hmm.
you if you're confident very easily people say oh he's got an attitude problem
Mm-hmm.
but the kid is just being confident he's just confident about his abilities right but in the system or some people in the system would misinterpret that as oh he's being cocky he's being disrespectful no he's just being confident he, a lot of people say, oh, he's got a chip on his shoulder. Yes, you need that in any field, any competitive field. If you need to be successful, you definitely need a lot of confidence and you need that chip on your shoulder. And that can be interpreted as, like I said, an attitude problem or being cocky. Well, that's fine. But that is something that I mean, I encourage when people say, oh, জানিস তো ও এটা করেছে বেশ করেছে ও গাড়ি কিনেছে ডায়মন্ডে আই সেড হ্যাঁ
Ah.
20 বছর বয়সে 21 বছর বয়সে যদি আমার কাছে 2 কোটি টাকা থাকতো আমিও তাই করতাম চান্সেস
Mm-hmm.
আর তুমিও তাই করতে let's not relate us being a 40 plus I'm 48 what I would do with 2 cr of money with a 21-year-old what he would do with 2 cr of money so I mean that those things need to change yes I mean money is part of the sport now people will make money and the more successful you are the more money you're going to make right rather than saying oh সোনার চেন পরে ঘুরে বেড়াচ্ছিল জানিস তো একটা বড় গাড়ি কিনেছে আরে hell yeah I mean if I'm making that kind of money even at 48 I'm going to do that so so I mean that goes without saying so I mean those things yes in terms of system, we need to play more matches. If you think about a typical season and you compare it with other major cricket producing centers, you'll see. So what happens is if you're playing only, let's say, 30-35 games, so every game becomes a major event. You miss
Mm-hmm.
out on 3 games and you start thinking about it You start thinking, oh, geez, I haven't scored in 3 games. So you start to put pressure on yourself. But if you're playing 150 games a year, a season, you're not bothered if you don't perform in 3 games. You're like, yeah, fair enough. I've got really 147 more to come. So those things are there, but predominantly it's the attitude. It's just going out there. The reason why Sourav Ganguly is obviously his skill side, but it's because of his attitude, right? I don't care attitude. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I am who I am. And unapologetically, I am who I am. Though that is what at times I think is lacking with us in general. Yes, yeah, big deal. I am good. So what? I am good.
And if I hear you correctly, Deepta, you're saying it's not the problem with the player's attitude, but the attitude of the people around him or her.
In general, listen,
Yeah.
you've spent a lot. I mean, you've spent a lot of time in Kolkata, and I'm saying Bengal in general.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one is it's fine if you're confident. It's nothing wrong. If somebody says, you know what, I'm going to play India in 2 years, there are chances. At least 6 out of 10 guys say, "বড় বড় কথা বলছে."
Mm-hmm.
But why can't you appreciate and say, oh, he's got confidence? But yeah, you know what? You need to work hard or you need to do X, Y,
Yeah.
Z for you to achieve your target. Why can't we see it like that and say, you know what? Oh, batila marche.
And তোমার এটা থেকে একটা জিনিস আমার মনে পড়লো যে like a few of মানে when you were describing that kind of attitude, a few players have come along the way. uh,
Mm,
when
mm.
Dhoni came with the long hair, people said এটা কি. When Virat came with an attitude, people started saying
Yeah,
that. When
yeah,
Pandya started wearing jewelry, or Rishabh Pant
yeah,
came in, people had lots of questions whether they can actually back their attitude with the goods.
yeah.
So does it make
100%.
it extra hard?
It,
Hmm.
but I'm happy that they're doing it. They're putting themselves out there. That says a lot
Yeah,
about their confidence, isn't it?
yeah, yeah.
I mean, if I'm a confident guy, I will put myself out there and let people judge. I'm fine. You That is something that I'm actually looking at kids nowadays. Because can you
Hmm.
handle that pressure? Because when you put yourself out there, that brings a lot of pressure, right? Because then you need to kind of walk the talk.
Yeah,
And if you then go on and do it, I was like, wow, man, this guy is really good. That is a big tick in the box for me. If somebody says that, I was like, okay, he's confident. Now, does he have the skill set and the temperament to back it? Yes, he does. Brilliant. That's the one for the future. And we in Bengal should be. I mean, we should learn from Saurav. We say a lot of things, but we actually don't learn from him. I mean, his attitude was wow. Like Steve Vog Ashok, Jay Moji Ashok, whatever. He's like, dude, I am who I am, and I'm not gonna bend or I'm not gonna be pushed around. You like it or leave it. This is what it is. And why can't we love? I mean, why can't we kind of learn that bit of his character as well, which is unbelievable.
yeah. Digda, একটু ট্রানজিশন করব মানে from
Mhm.
the ground to that is the sort of headline that we put together, and you said you write whatever, no fuss there, but
Yeah.
from being a player to now sitting on the other side, sitting in the commentary box, uh, that transition, how and when did it happen? When did you feel that I can be a good commentator? And obviously now you're a great commentator. uh,
Uh,
what
yeah.
is it that makes one a great or good commentator, and what made you comfortable in that new role that you took up?
Mhm. I mean, again, that's an accident.
Okay.
Wasn't meant to be because I think what you mentioned earlier on in the introduction that apart from being a groundsman, I've done everything in the
Yes.
field, right? So I was still coaching at that point in time. I was coaching the emerging team and the IPL side. I was an assistant coach in the IPL side. Tarpore, it was the month of September. There used to be something called the Champions League. যেখানে, the top teams from 3, 4 franchises would come and play. That used to be in September, which is off season, right? So Star Sports approached me and they said, we're doing this. Do you want to be part of it? And it's in Hindi. The first thing was like, listen, I'm Bengali. I live in Kolkata. What do you mean Hindi? Said, no, no, no. We've heard you before and all of that. Can you do it? I said, okay. So
Okay.
I was doing it. My first stint. Imagine this. My first stint is with two of my role models, my idols, Sunil Gavaskar, Kapil Dev. They're sitting right
Wow.
next to me, and I was nervous as hell.
This is
As
83 full circle. 83 full circle.
yeah. তো পাশে বসে রয়েছে and কি বলবো ইয়ার I mean ওদের সঙ্গে মানে what do I do, so it was very very nervy. তো তারপরে
Mhm.
ওখানে that's how it started, but then I was in that next room when you're not on air. At that point in time, BCCI production head was a gentleman called James Rigo. So James was like, we were sitting and having a chat. He's like, have you thought of, getting into media and doing commentary? I was like, no, I haven't. It's like, why don't you give it a try? So he's like, okay, Dave, the director, and Dave is, I mean, so I treat James and him and these guys as my mentor. So, and they're like, he will call you. So they've called and I said, তখন Durga Pujo, I mean, অক্টোবরে ফোন করেছে. I said, no, there's Durga Puja and all of that. And maybe the second game, there was a Dulip Trophy game in Kochi. I said, okay, come over. And then I did it. And then, yeah. And the best part was I did not get into international cricket straight away. I did 2 years of domestic cricket, maybe more than 2 years. I started actually doing international cricket properly 2017-ish, 18, 2018, 17. But this process, the domestic cricket was for good 2.5, 3. I kept doing it domestic till a very long time. I still do it. And that's where you learn. You learn the trade there. So I would like to believe I've earned my stripes. I wasn't just put in that place, which I was, to be fair, in 2013-14. But after that, once I thought I'm going to do this more seriously, I think, and on the way I had lovely people, obviously co-coms, but also people like I said, Dave and James and Sanjog, who's an ICC head, had those people to kind of guide and help and all of that. So it's been a wonderful journey. And listen, this is the best job in the world. এর থেকে ভালো কি হতে পারে? For a, I mean, দুনিয়াভর ঘুরে বেড়াই, roam around, travel, stay in good hotels,
Best
watch
seats in the house.
cricket, best seats in the house, and sit with the legends of the game and talk about the game. I would have done any which way that. বাড়িতে বসে তো টিভি দেখে সেটাই করতাম, খেলা দেখতাম আর কথা বলতাম বন্ধুদের সঙ্গে, and not, I mean, it's the same thing, and I'm getting paid for it. I mean,
Yeah.
it can't get better than this. It's the best job in the world.
And for every spectator viewer যারা বাড়ি থেকে ক্রিকেট দেখে, তাদের কাছে commentary has played such an important role, because yes, you are watching the match, the players are playing the match, they are going for everything, nail biters, crazy finishes, but the commentator voice, that narration, that storytelling sort of
Yeah,
brings all the emotions together, puts it into words that the viewers are feeling, and the most
yeah,
epic moments, you will remember the commentator's words, echoing
yeah,
even for
yeah.
years to come. So
I think it's the words, and the other thing is the emotion.
mhm,
Right. If you take the emotion out of the whole equation and it's just the words, chances are those words are normal words. They aren't poetic or something, right?
sure.
Right. I mean, not every now and then you'll hear remember the name. Generally, like, oh, there it is. Finish it. For example, let's say Ravi, if that 2011, he
Yeah.
finishes it off in style, right?
Yeah.
They're normal words, but the the emotions involved, the voice and everything else, the it's a theater, right?
Mhm.
So I think words play an important part, but I think more than that, the emotions, at times very simple words, but if the emotions are right, and which chances are if you're there and if you're part of that game, it would be, it just, it then it elevates those words. So for me, I think emotions are more important than the words itself.
Yeah. And if I ask you, let's say for a moment that you were in the commentary box, something happened on the field that you remember like it was yesterday.
Oh, there's so many actually. Oh,
Like the
I
recent
mean,
series, we can
let's
talk about the recent series.
recent series itself. I can write a book on it. I mean,
Wow.
only
Yeah.
if I could. That is, because obviously it was part of it. First test onwards, and the whole process. Um, Shubman getting his first 100 as a captain, and I mean, okay, so let's say Rishabh walking down with a broken foot. I
Yeah.
mean, that image itself is it's so inspiring. I, I mean, same we can talk about Chris Wokes walking down with
Sure.
dislocated
Yeah.
shoulder. Same things.
Mm.
I mean, those things they stay with you. They stay with you for a very very long time.
Yeah. And I think some fantastic, pieces were written. I mean, I was reading the old
Mhm.
fashioned newspaper, because in Bengal we still get those,
Oh
and
yeah,
some
yeah,
beautiful.
I love it. The smell of it, the feel of it. It
Yeah.
is so. For the longest time, the first thing I had to do in the morning was open the newspaper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways,
When I was growing up, I remember Richie Beno used to write a column. I don't remember whether it was Statesman or the Telegraph, but Richie Beno wrote a column after
statesman, I
stones,
think. Yeah,
like
yeah.
Statesman. Uh, Deepda, moving from the commentary, and obviously, we see you very frequently. Uh, your role, which you hinted at, and I want to sort of understand a little more about your role as mentor and coach that you're
Mhm,
still into. Because as I was referring back to the Cyrus podcast, you said that
mhm.
you, while growing up, you as a player had been taught in a certain way, but
Yeah,
then you realize that other things are also there, and while
yeah,
you were a Puritan, you
yeah,
could be unorthodox and successful, and
yeah.
every player had their own natural style. So I
Yes.
was wondering, from your own being a mentee, let's say
Hmm.
25 years ago, to
Hmm.
now being a mentor, what are the
Hmm.
aspects that you try to bring into your mentorship, to your coaching for the younger generation?
Uh, for me, I think the most important bit is the mental side of it. So when you're actually mentoring kids, and you're
Mhm.
obviously looking at, so there are two phases to this. First is the technical phase when you learn the skill itself, and then after a certain age, you still learn the skill, but the mental side of things come into the picture a lot more. So the mentoring process kind of starts from there, when 14, 15, 16 onwards. And that's where I think what I've learned from kind of things that I could have done better, how things are, the environment, and how to handle situations, handle things that, like I said, I could have done much, much better. The learnings that I've got from all of that, I try and pass it on to kids. Couple of things I'm very very conscious of is the language that I use.
Mhm.
Because subconsciously we use languages. You don't know what hits whom, right? There might be a very loose sentence from me saying, "Yeah, you know, yeah, this guy's, head's falling," right? Or
Mhm.
something on predominant negative side. You don't know. I mean, you would say it's a very innocuous statement, you know, but the guy who that statement is intended for, might take it differently, right? So the language, you're still communicating the same thing, but how you do it is very very important, right? So the confidence we keep talking about, and the thing about what I've learned obviously through cricket is the basic ingredients of success is the same for all aspects, whatever you want to do, whatever industry you want to get into. It's the same ingredients. The skill set changes, right? In your field, the skill set would be something different from cricket, but the basic ingredients around the skill is the same for everything, right? So it's the mentality, the attitude, the confidence. It boils down to that. And that is something that I keep telling coaches as well, coaches who work with me, is make sure you what you sing, how you sing it, right? Rather saying, don't play that shot. Why can't we say, okay, you want to play that shot, that's fine, but how can we do it in a better way?
Yeah.
Or are there any better options? Rather than saying don't do it, say, okay, let's do it, but do it better. Or are there any other better options for that? It's a very basic example that I'm giving, but I think that language is very, very important, and especially with
Yeah.
with this generation. Uh,
Hmm.
See, আমাদের সময় কি ছিল, কোচ এসে থাপড়ও মেরেছে আমাকে, and মা বাবাকে যখন বলেছে বেশ করেছে মেরেছে, right? So it,
The
it was
world has
very
changed.
different. Yeah, it
The world
has
has
changed. I
changed.
mean, it has changed 180 degrees. If
Yeah.
so, uh, the idea is you can't. So it is very important যে communication স্টাইলটা কিভাবে কথা বলো, কেমন করে বলো, how you put it across, and then also try and empower kids. My see, I when I coach, I don't want to coach them and tell them. So এটা আমি সবসময় বলি, যেখানেই কোচিং করি যাকে কি বলি, I said, please ask questions. Don't accept it just because I'm saying it. Please ask
Hmm.
questions. কেন কি কালকে আমি থাকবো না, কালকে you might be on your own. Then what
Yeah.
happens? The idea is to empower them with tools to handle those situations, whether there's anyone around or not, basically on their own. So yeah, so that's the basic idea, and that's what I love doing actually.
Beautiful. Deepda, I know you said you
No, no, no,
have a
it's
little
okay.
bit
It's
to
all
rush.
right. It's all
So
right.
let me sort of move into the next part
Yeah,
that I wanted to cover with you. Uh, you referred to the generation has changed. Technology has changed.
yeah,
The game has drastically changed. How do you view? And I know you're associated with certain technology platforms, which
yeah,
is using AI. Players are wearing all sorts of gadgets on the field. There is DRS, Hawkeye,
yeah,
Sneeko. There's so much technology. মানে টেনিসে তো মানে লাইন আম্পায়ার সরিয়ে দিয়েছে, মানে
yeah.
ক্রিকেটেও আম্পায়ার উই ডোন্ট নো ফর শিওর, বাট
I hope
হাউ ডু
not.
ইউ how do you look at technology impacting cricket for the good, not for the good? What's your take?
Uh, I think technology is very important
Mm-hmm.
because the stakes have gone up. আগে
Mm-hmm.
stakes ছিল, but এখন ছোট ছোট calls have become extremely, extremely important, right? And there's a lot at stake, a lot more than what it was when the game was still uh, amateurish. It's very different. So technology, very important. But Amar, how I see it is cricket. It's there are two facets to it. One is the science bit of it, which you can
Mm-hmm.
quantify, which you should quantify, and there is the art side of it. My pet peeve is when you try and quantify the art side of it. We don't
Okay.
see a Van Gogh painting and say, you know what, the brush stroke were at this angle, and that's the reason they're good, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't do that. We appreciate it. While there are scientific things about color and schemes and all of that, so I that's how I see it. When I see Virat batting, there are certain things which I would want to quantify, but there are certain things I don't want to quantify. His cover drive, I'm not going to say because his angle of his front elbow was at 90 degrees and his head was like this, and there's certain things you just enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, again, like music, like any performing art. There is the science bit of it, but there is that art bit. And that is all I kind of যেটা দেখতে চাই না is trying to quantify the art bit. সায়েন্সটাকে
Yeah.
যত ইচ্ছে করো, improve those 1%ers, make a huge difference, whether it's nutrition, whether it's strength and conditioning, whether it's skill. Those 1%ers are huge in terms of the end product. So please, but there are things which, let it be. Don't touch those things, which is the art side of it. Data, very important, like I said, 1%ers. But again, please understand data. is just absolute numbers.
Mm-hmm.
How do you read data is important. So there is a lot of skill involved in reading data. So
Mm-hmm.
right now there are a lot of data available. Like you said, there's a lot of tech available, which is good, which is again very nice. But for example, before a match, there are times when people would get a 21-page docket about every bowler, every player,
Wow.
scoring areas and all of that. One of the reasons I picked up cricket, one of the reasons, might not be a big one, is was I loved spending more time on the field than in a classroom.
Mm-hmm.
So don't put me back in that classroom again.
Sure.
Right? We
Yeah.
at a certain level, we sports people are kids, right? We need more action than sitting and looking at stuff. There'll be
Yeah.
guys amongst us as well, but generally speaking, we are very action oriented. We want to go out there and do it ourselves and figure it out and things like that. And that's where I think data helps a lot. Please, I'm not undermining the usefulness of it, but couple of things. One is how do you uh, decipher data, what is relevant, what is not, because there's tons of it. You don't want to overload people with numbers. So
Mm-hmm.
that is a skill in itself and a very important skill. And secondly, it is still a tool. It can't take over,
Mm-hmm.
right? It is still a very, very important tool, but it is a tool.
And as long as humans are playing cricket, I think
Yes.
the art
Yeah.
side of things
Dude, the other day on
stays.
social media, I saw, I don't know where it is, the robots playing football. I was like, please no. That's the last thing I want to see. I mean, I'm not wasting my time watching robots playing football.
Yeah, I mean, 100 goals in 90 minutes, or who knows? But
Yeah.
you mentioned the human side of the art side of things, and obviously, human beings are imperfect beings, and
Yeah.
somewhere I believe art comes from imperfections.
Hmm.
And if things had been otherwise, I was watching a recent innings, an old innings of Virendra Sehwag, 195 Boxing Day, and the only thing that the commentators kept repeating after every shot was no foot movement whatsoever, no footwork needed. And I was thinking, okay, this person doesn't follow by the rules. He's doing it completely wrong by the scientific way, but he's playing the best innings of his life.
Yeah, there is a very, very big tendency now
Mm-hmm.
of being overcoached because of all
Mm-hmm.
the levels and all. Again, please don't get me wrong. Those are important things. Badges are important. But you have to find the right balance between theory and practice,
Sure.
right? So that at times becomes a little gray, that area. How much is that? And it overlaps at times. So there is a very, very big danger of kids being overcoached. Thank God Bumrah was never overcoached. You would never have a Jasprit Bumrah. You would never have a Virendra Sehwag. So there is certainly, with the number of coaching camps and academies opening up, with the number of coaches around, there is definitely a big, big danger of kids being overcoached. They not being fine. I mean, big example, aaj ke din hai, a lot of junior kids, junior level, under 16 and all, you have three, four coaches,
Wow.
right? And the problem is, আমাদের সময় আমাদেরও আগে আমাদেরও পরেও in fact I don't want to sound like one of those কি আমাদের time but the thing was you would do the planning bit and also execute it. You would have help, you would have two three guys and your teammates who would help you out, but the major bit of uh, the work would be you yourself. But when you have more coaches, there is a tendency where the coach is saying, you know what, this is the plan, this is plan A, plan B, plan C. Now, you as a player are only allowed to execute it. So that's where
Yeah.
having good coaches who allow you to grow as individuals, as players, is very, very important. And that's where there is a danger, I say, of being overcoached.
Yeah. Deepda, I'm also looking at the clock, so I'm going to rush through the next segment
Yeah,
in the interest of time.
yeah,
We'll call it rapid fire
sure.
because it's going to be rapid.
Mm.
So don't take too much time thinking about it. Just
All right,
tell me the
let's go.
first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
Uh, Favorite cricketing idol?
Oh my word. Cricketing idol, you said, right?
Yeah,
Mm, I can't name it. I'm sorry, I can't name one.
one.
Uh, Geez, one. I'd say, wow. I'd say Sachin.
Okay, okay,
I mean,
sure.
both on and off the field, the way he's handled all of that is unbelievable. People don't understand what comes along with cricket, the other stuff when you're Sachin
Mhm.
Tendulkar.
Okay, best playing 11 across all eras.
Oh, no, no, that's a tough one. That's a tough one in the sense I'll be very unfair because I would be picking people that I've seen. So I can tell you this generation, I can give you an idea of this generation's like this century. Let's not go back.
Okay,
Okay.
last 25
Uh,
years. Best
Last
team. Yeah.
25. Test team, Indian test team, right?
No, across. It can be India. It
Across.
can be,
Oh,
yeah,
oh
across.
my word.
Last 25,
Okay.
the best team that you've seen.
Okay. I'm gonna go Virendra Sehwag, Matthew Hayden to open.
Okay,
I hope.
okay.
Please remind me if I'm missing. I'm talking about test team here, right? Okay, this is
Sure,
an
sure,
interesting exercise. Uh, Three, Rahul Dravid.
sure. Four is
Four,
obvious.
obvious. Uh, Five, nah, 2000 onwards. Shoot a few names.
Uh,
Again, top of my head, England. KP,
okay.
Kevin Peterson at five. Australia থেকে পাঁচ খেলতো তখন. Yeah, Steve Ogg was
So
six.
would you want a Lakshman there?
No, আমি তো একটা ইন্ডিয়া টিমই হয়ে গেল यार. Um,
Okay.
right. Sorry. Where is Brian Charles Lara? Sorry.
Okay.
VC Lara. I know ওখানে খেলবে না.
Huh.
So let's say 3, 4, 5 is Brian Charles Lara, Sachin Tendulkar, Rahul Dravid. কে কোথায়
Okay.
খেলবে, they decide, they fight and they decide, but three of them are
Okay.
there.
Okay.
Number 6
We
is,
haven't had a wicket keeper yet.
yeah, that's where I'm coming to now. Number 6, I'm going to pick Adam Gilchrist as my wicket keeper.
Sure.
7, I'm going to pick an all-rounder. Now, fast bowling all-rounder, you have mm, Ben Stokes slash Flintoff. Sean Pollock, nah, it's too early for him to bat. I'm gonna go with number 7, Flintoff.
Okay.
Ben Stokes, that's a tough one.
Okay.
Yeah, so all rounder. Number 8, I'm looking for a bowler who can bat. And where are we playing? What conditions are we playing? Spin or spin friendly fast? I mean,
Okay.
England or India? Where?
You're in England, let's say. So let's say
England.
England.
Okay, so let's go with England then. So at number 8, what are the spin bowling all rounders that we've had? We've obviously have Jadeja, Ashwin. Poo, 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 poo. We don't have too many leg spinners in the last 25. Oh, Swanee is there. Um, right. So let's quickly go to the fast bowlers. Okay. I'm gonna go with Jasprit Bumrah, Jimmy Anderson, two fast bowlers. I've
Okay.
already picked a third fast bowler. I need another fast bowler, and that would be Dale Steyn. Geez, yeah, Dale
Yeah.
Steyn for sure. Um, Dale Steyn, and then I'm gonna go for
হয়ে
a
গেছে 11?
spinner. আইগোটা
হয়নি
কিরম
এখনো?
করে হলো? না, এটা স্পিনারের জায়গা রয়েছে.
Okay.
Uh, Wani played in this century, so I'm gonna go with Wani.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Okay.
Or
So I think we
Murli and or Wani. Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
okay. Okay. So I think we have your playing 11. We'll put it up along with our podcast post.
Oh,
Uh,
this
moving
is
on.
unfair, huh? Just please make sure when you put it up on social media, short reel or whatever, you make sure that this was not a thought out answer. This
Okay. Okay.
was, yeah,
Okay.
because
Okay.
I'm sure I'm
Now
missing quite a few names there.
we'll make it easier. Next
Hmm.
question. Favorite commentator?
No, that is not easy either. And I tell you what, I don't have an answer for it because I've been asked this a few times. I'll tell you the reason behind it because all of us we bring very different things to the table.
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, uh, and how we look at the game are very different. For example, Sunny sir would be looking at it from a very batting point of view, right? Somebody would be looking at, let's say, Kapil Baji looking at it from a bowler's point of view. Somebody looks at from a coaching point of view. For some people like Love, Dooley, Bish, all these guys, they look at it from a very journalistic point of view,
Okay.
broadcasting point of view. So
Okay.
there is there's a there's a
I'll
everyone.
rephrase. I'll
Yeah.
rephrase. Who's the most fun to have in the box next to you?
Again, I mean, that didn't help either. I mean, that wasn't much of a help rephrasing the question. So, yeah, like I used to do, I would let that one go outside of stump.
Duck. Okay. You're ducking that. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Leave. Okay. That's a leave. All right.
yeah.
Uh, okay. So this doesn't get easier then for you. Favorite wicket keeper.
It is comparatively easier.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. I think Ian Healy,
Okay. Yeah.
that is
Okay.
one of the most impactful wicket keeper, MS Dhoni. So I'm going to split it into impact and just pure skills.
Sure.
And skill because I mean he kept beautifully against spin and fast bowling. He kept to. I would like to go back a little bit and say Alan Knott.
Mm-hmm.
You know those sticky dogs. You know what sticky dog pitches are? Uncovered pitches.
Okay.
And Derek Underwood bowling at 100 kilometers an hour, keeping to him. So I'm going to put Alan Knott in that bracket as well. And then MSD because he's rewritten the basics of wicket keeping. So impact from a keeper point of view, MSD.
Okay. Favorite captain. Played with, under, or
Sort of,
across. Sort
sort
of.
of.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Favorite cricket ground.
Favorite cricket ground, Kolkata, Eden Gardens.
Okay, fair. All right,
Yeah,
Deepda. So you passed that test with flying colors.
yeah. Thank you.
Deepda, I know. We've taken a lot more than we promised, but before we close, firstly, it's been a huge honor and fun to talk to you. Uh, our channel is called Hello Kolkata Podcast. We are part of the Kolkata Calling, you know,
Hmm,
movement that we can call that we try to share positive stories. You know,
hmm.
people believe more in the city. All of that.
Yeah.
You had your stint in the Delhi side and then Bengal side to two different identities in a way. Some call you not from here, others will say no, no, you are Bengali. So
I'm an outsider. When I'm in Delhi, I'm an outsider. When I'm in Kolkata, I'm an outsider. I'm a perpetual outsider. Outsider who's inside, actually. So, anyways, yeah.
yeah, so from your point of view, outside inside,
Yeah.
one thing that Kolkata has taught you about life and sports.
Oh, I think Kolkata. I've traveled fair number of places. I've spent a lot of time. Now I spend a lot of time in England as well. But Kolkata is one city I relate the most with. You know, I mean, and I'm completely at home.
Mhm.
You know, যখন আমি কলকাতায় থাকি আর yeah, and something that I've learned, I think the whole mindset, the vibe, যে ঠিক আছে, while you're working, you work hard and all of that. আমার আরেকটা জিনিস যেটা হেল্প করে আমাকে, I'll be honest, is most of my work is outside Kolkata. In fact, all of my work is outside Kolkata while I live in. So
Yeah.
ওটা একটা gives me a very different perspective of Kolkata. You know, because I love history and Kolkata, history, culture, roots. I'm I'm proud to be a Bengali uh, because of that,
Yeah.
the culture bit. কেন কি যারা কলকাতা বাইরে থাকে আর স্পেন্ড করেছে টাইম they'll know the moment you say you're from Kolkata, you're from Bengal, the way people look at you is very very different. Suddenly you've got this halo around your head কি আরে ও তো
Mhm.
শিক্ষিত হবেই, ওর
Mhm.
সঙ্গে কথা বলা যাবে, অনেক কিছুতে কথা বলবে, অনেক বেশি কথা বলবে, মেবি কাজটা একটু কম করবে, কথা বেশি বলবে, বাট কথা বলবে। So you suddenly the way people look at you or treat you is different the moment you say, "Acha, I'm in Kolkata, I'm a Bengali, I'm from Calcutta." So I
Yeah.
think those those things are very, very dear to me.
Yeah. And finally, your message to the next generation of young cricketers who are olite golite practice korche,
Uh,
rode jole practice korche, তাদের জন্য what would be your word of advice?
তাদের জন্য একটাই অ্যাডভাইস যে হার্ড ওয়ার্কের থেকে ইম্পর্টেন্ট জিনিস কিছু নেই। আহ, লোকেরা অনেক সময় বলে ট্যালেন্ট, আর আমি একটা জিনিসই বলি, আর আই মেনটেন দ্যাট, যে ট্যালেন্ট তো ঠিক আছে, অবভিয়াসলি তুমি ক্রিকেট খেলছো, এট সার্টেন লেভেল তোমার ট্যালেন্ট রয়েছে, কিন্তু হার্ড ওয়ার্ক উইল অলওয়েজ বিট ট্যালেন্ট।
Sure.
তো কিপ ওয়ার্কিং হার্ড। আরেকটা জিনিস, আমাদের স্পোর্টে, সবই স্পোর্টে হয়, আমাদের স্পোর্টে একটু বেশি, we are in the business of failure. We fail more than we succeed. So learn to handle that. If you learn to handle failure, you'll be successful. There is no two ways about that. Yeah, সেটাই। আর yeah, and please have that attitude. Please get that chip on your shoulder. You need it. Cricket হোক, ক্রিকেটের বাইরে হোক, you need that attitude.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Deepda. I have overstayed my welcome, but
না
thank you so much for taking the time,
না না, pleasure's
speaking
mine.
to us so candidly. খোলা মনে তুমি কিছু মানে রাগ ঢাক না করে, except for the rapid fire where you were a little diplomatic, I feel.
No.
But
Anyways, yeah, yeah.
it's been really fun, fun session to talk to you, learning a lot from you, and please continue to do the amazing work that you're doing, not
Thank
just
you.
in the commentary box, but on the ground with the younger generation, bringing out more superstars for our country. So thank you. With that, we'll close the podcast. Any closing words তোমাকে দিয়ে তারপরে we'll close?
না, thank you so very much for having me. Obviously, খুব ভালো লেগেছে, goes without saying. So that's that, and hopefully we'll catch up soon.
Sure. Thank you, Deepda.
Thank you.